All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 89. Our NFL playoff preview is today. We got Big Ernie and the Wanderer here today. Say hello.
Hola. Glad to have you with us.
So, before we jump into the football, because I think it's going to be extensive today, I had like a weird, I don't want to call it an epiphany. Let's just call it an idea.
Okay.
And I need someone to set me straight here because I don't know if it's a great idea, but I don't also see it being like a terrible idea.
All right.
So if anyone's been following along with the MLB hot stove and this Pete Alonso thing recently, I've been just monitoring it loosely. And I've noticed today that really no one is offering him a contract but the Mets. So like the Mets are refusing to, I guess, bet or play against themselves and up like the contract, right?
Okay.
Now, I don't mind them doing that. I don't know, and wonder maybe you could step in and tell me like if there would be bad blood for that from the polar bear in a second. But I have this weird idea, like, what if the Yankees just offered him a 4-year, $100 million contract? That's not really anything crazy, $25 million a year, because right now they offered him 3 years, $85 million, which is what, roughly like 27, 28 million for 3 years, right? So you give him a little, even if you had to go 5 years, 125, just to give him the extra year, why wouldn't the Yankees do that right now? And like my thing is the pros and cons, right? He's not really he's an average first baseman. He can't really run the bases, which is fine, but I don't think he makes mistakes on the bases, right? He just knows, his limitations, right? He's not going to steal bases or whatever. But to me, like, even though he's a righty, can you see him being like almost like a doppelganger of Judge, just hitting it to right field and it being out of the park?
Yeah.
Like when he hit 50 home runs,
I just heard something on the radio that I hadn't even thought of, and it makes perfect sense. Who are the Mets going to get at this point that's better?
Right. But no, you're 100% right. 100% right. I guess what they're doing is playing the Boris game because Boris is comparing him to Prince Fielder and is saying Prince Fielder got an either 8 or 9 year contract for $200 million.
Who's been out of baseball for 10 years now already.
Agreed. But like, my thing is, okay, so where would you play him this year? And then I think about it. I'm like, where would you play him? Now, could you platoon him at first base with Goldschmidt a little bit? Then I think to myself, well, you're paying him too much money to platoon, right? I get that. But what if, and this is a crazy what if, right? You have Stanton, right? He always gets hurt, right? Why don't we just make him an outfielder and DH him and Stanton, and then when he's not DHing, he plays first base and you sit Goldschmidt because he's only got 12 mil.
Because they got to play the Martian. The Martian's got to play at this point. Because even if he doesn't pan out to what we all hoped he was going to become, they're not going to be able to use him in a trade if he doesn't ever play.
But what's the problem with starting him in the minor leagues, especially if in spring training he doesn't hit well? He's only 21 years old. I mean, you don't have to rush the kid. And he's coming off injuries. Like, what's the problem of making him wait a little bit? He's not obviously an A-Rod or even a Derek Jeter where he came up and just took off running. He did and then got hurt. And then got hurt again. And then again. So would his stock go that much farther down if you brought him into spring training?
I think his stock has gone really far down now already.
Agreed. So what's the difference now if you just let him wait in the minors and he plays good minor ball and maybe bring him up in September?
Nah, I'd rather, first of all, I'd rather have him playing, getting the experience and being in his rookie contract than paying Alonso $30 million and then have Stanton playing in the outfield every day.
Well, this wouldn't be every day, but what I'm saying is let's say he played the outfield 3 days a week. And on those 3 days...
Who's going to play left? Because
Judge.
You're going to put Judge in left field?
He's played it already before. He's a good outfielder. He can handle it.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Judge and Wright.
I know what you rather have, but I'd rather have more hitting as well. And I feel like with Alonso, like even on his worst year last year, he hit 35 home runs, and he plays all the time.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I thought they should have signed him before they signed
Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt.
Agreed. And now that you have Goldschmidt, would the worst thing in the world be like maybe you could move Goldschmidt to third or something like that temporarily, or just mix and match a little bit through the season, because you know there's going to be a 2 months like time frame where Stanton's not going to be playing at all. You know it.
Yeah, I mean, history tells you that.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think, Wander? Like, you think the Yankees could do something like that? You think Alonso would be willing to go to the Yankees and not even have a platoon, but just maybe DH and play first base like 5 to 6 times a week?
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would definitely be willing to do that. Yeah, I mean, if the money's right, why not?
Yeah, like I just look at his swing, and I feel like at Yankee Stadium alone, he could rake over there. And then let's not just add in the stuff that we stick it to the Mets a little bit.
Right.
And then, we only have Goldschmidt for a year. You could even tell Alonso, like, listen, if he's shit in the bed, you'll play first. Then you got it the next 3-4 years after that. It is what it is. You could even DFA Goldschmidt or trade Goldschmidt at the halfway point, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think there's a lot of options you could have depending on
I just
the
think,
roster.
A big part of his crutch right now is who his agent is.
Agreed, which is why I think if you throw even 4 years at him at 110, you might be able to just get him for $27 million a year for a 4-year contract, and even throw an opt-out in there after the first year or second year.
Which is what I think is going to happen with the Mets. They're going to end up doing like a 4-year, whatever the money is, with an opt-out after the first year, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know.
See, the only way, that's touchy for me, because if they really want Vladimir Guerrero, which is what we all think they're doing,
Right.
if you give him an opt-out after the first year, Pete Alonso could stick it to the Mets and say, I'm not opting out, and then you're kind of stuck now.
True.
You know what I mean? So, like, for the Mets, it would almost be like we would get a club option, which he'll never agree with, on the first year. And then I also think that they haven't done it yet. The only way they would offer him more years and more money is if another team or two comes in there and be like, oh, we'll give you 4 years at $100 million, this, that, and the other, and then they'll up it. They're not going to do it when they're the only ones. Right now they have a 3-year, $85 million contract. They're not moving from that. Someone has to go over that.
Right.
Why wouldn't it be the Yankees? Even if not to just drive up the price. Like, I don't see it's a bad thing. And you're not really wasting his talent, because if you DH him a little bit, like, you know what I mean? And, like, we could kind of do what we did last year with the Martian, right? Start him in spring training. That's where he got hurt. And then when Stan got hurt in June, I think it was, he was hurt already. He got hurt like right around the same time, and our backup plan was gone. At least now we'd have somewhat of a backup plan, because, you could mix and match. You'd still be out of an outfielder, but then you could bring up the Martian. Then you could have Cody Bellinger still in center, Judge and right, and you could have Alonso DHing, and you don't lose a step there. But that's what I mean. Call me crazy. I don't know. It's not my money. Whatever. I was just kind of like, I wonder if they're just waiting in the wings back there and just trying to see what's going to float.
I doubt it.
Well, whatever. I had to get that off my chest. Yeah, so let's get into the brass tacks of it all. The NFL playoffs are here, a couple days away on Saturday. And, the past week 18, and we'll get to our shitty-ass picks in a few minutes, but it was a weird weekend, don't you think, with all the games?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the Jets were going to screw me because I was going to the game and I bet against them. And it was ice cold there.
Oh, yeah.
It was ice cold there. And it was weird, too, because we're outside tailgating, and it was colder out in the parking lot than it was in the stadium, which I don't really ever think I've had that happen to me that I remember. Because normally if it's bad outside, it's even worse on the inside because the stadiums always have like these wind tunnels and all this other crap.
And it whips around.
Right, and it didn't. Like I was more comfortable sitting in my seats in the stadium than I was standing outside, like drinking a couple beers and like eating food in the parking lot.
Yeah, maybe you were just surrounded by a couple of large individuals that were walking.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've never seen someone put on so many layers in my life than I did Helms. He had like 8 layers on. And a snow jumpsuit, like a half jumpsuit, like the pants that come up kind of like to like your chest, and it has like the straps.
Yeah.
Man, he was head to toe. I don't know how he went to the bathroom, right? Because during the tailgate, he had to go to the bathroom like every 4.5 minutes. So I drove there and I like parked in a way where we could just fly out of there. And I also parked close enough, like somewhat close enough to porta potties and everything. So like you don't have to like trek it down because we actually had a good parking area. We were like 3-minute walk from the stadium, which is really close. But he kept running back and forth to the bathroom while we were cooking burgers and sausages. And then like game time, I'm like, he would stand up and go to the bathroom. I'm like, it must take him like 15 minutes to get out of that whole outfit. You know what I mean? Jeez. It was crazy. He had like 4 sweatpants on, thermals, those snow pants that you go skiing with. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was wild. It was so funny. But yeah, the Jet game, whatever. What can you say? The Jets win another game. So what? Aaron Rodgers gets his 500th touchdown. Also, so what? He probably won't even be on the team or playing anywhere next year. And the Dolphins sucked.
Yeah, I feel like the Jets handled them from the beginning, and yeah, it was you think you'd see more fight out of the Finns, but apparently not.
Yeah, I think they were somewhat scoreboard watching because I was a little bit. I really wanted Denver to lose so that the Bengals would go into the playoffs.
Yeah,
but Denver just smoked Kansas City.
I felt like that one was 21-0 very early.
Right, so I think once they saw that, they're like,
Yeah.
And then like Tyreek Hill didn't play much. They had their backup quarterback in, who's pretty much a bum. And yeah, the teams that were supposed to win, I guess needed to win. They won, and it was just, I feel bad for Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? If he had half a defense, they would have won like 11, 12 games, and this wouldn't have even been a thing. And they would have won the
playoffs. It's crazy
playoffs.
to think their second half of the season went and they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's insane. And I think they won their last, 5 games or 6 games? Yeah, 5 games.
I think every team in the AFC right now in the playoffs is thanking their lucky stars that they didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one guy in the AFC that's beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
And it just goes to show you, too, how important every game is in the NFL.
Right.
On the flip side, you got Pittsburgh going to the playoffs, who have been absolute dog doo the last 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Yep. Every game matters. You know what I mean? You got to get, however you get a win, you get a win. But yeah, I mean, it was weird watching these games, too. Like, I'm glad I didn't get to see a lot of the games. But you saw some of these scores, and it's just like the Bills-Patriot game, and then that poor guy, was it Jared Mayo, getting fired right after the game after he wins.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, like they didn't even wait till Monday. They're like, yo, dude, don't come back. I'll see you later. The Packers lost too, right, to the Bears. That was weird. But Jordan Love got hurt in that game, which is like, I think that was a seeding game though, so he had to play. I think that was for a better seed, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't blame him, but that's just really unlucky, right? So I don't know, but the only game I really want to watch, which is, I'm glad the Jets, at least since they screwed up my picks, they at least beat the Dolphins bad enough where we left early in the 4th, so we beat a lot of the traffic. I don't think I would have hit much traffic if we left at the end of the game, because there was really nobody at the stadium.
I was going to ask you that. So a lot of people left early?
I don't think a lot of people showed up.
Oh, really?
Like it looked packed in the parking lot, but when I got into the stadium and like we're just sitting there and the game's like starting, half the stadium was empty.
So maybe
No
more
kidding.
tailgating than actually going in.
Maybe, or maybe it just looks like there were more people because of the tailgating than there really was. I don't know, because like I never drove a distance like that just to tailgate and not go into the stadium. Like I have to go watch the game.
Yeah.
Like I've never sat outside and be like, I'm not going into the game. I'm just going to tailgate all day, and that's it. I go into the game, but it wasn't packed at all. So then, once the Jets scored their last touchdown, I think it was like 7 minutes left in the game. We're like, let's get out of here, and we got home in 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
It was great because they're saying it's like MetLife life is the hardest place to get out of.
Yeah.
And maybe it is when the stadium's packed, but I got out of there in 2 minutes. I was on the highway within 2 to 5 minutes, so it was great.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
you really parked in a good spot then.
Yep. And they even closed down the lane that we came in on for some reason. I was like, damn, we're screwed. And I made a right, and it led us right out to the main road, and I was gone. And thank God, because the game I really wanted to see was the Minnesota Lions game. I was so stoked for that game. And it looks like Sam Darnold is once again reverted into a New York Jet. Like, he must have missed Justin Jefferson like 4 times in the end zone.
Yeah, but a couple of them, like, he could have caught. And, I mean, I watched most of that game, like, to my recollection, and I was pissed because fucking I needed Jefferson to catch a touchdown to finish a parlay. And
Me too.
fucking.
Me too.
Man.
That's why when I saw the beginning of the game, and I think it was literally one set of downs on like basically like it was like 1st and goal. So they might have been on like the 5 or 7, whatever it was. And he literally all 3 times threw to Justin Jefferson. One was to the left.
Yeah, 3 straight plays.
Yeah, one was to the left and like 2 was to the right. And the first one was overthrown a little bit. Like he barely got a couple fingers on it. I don't think he could have caught that ball, but if he would have, it would have been a fantastic catch. And then one of the ones that I recall to the right was just overthrown, and he was wide open, like wide open. But yeah, he must have been trying to throw to him all day, and it just wasn't happening, which is why it reminded me of him with the Jets.
Yeah, it was a wonky game for them.
Yeah, but I'm glad because, to be honest with you, like, I mean, they had a really good season too, but I just felt like Detroit should have won that division. Like, they played consistently better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, other than Gibbs, nobody at Detroit was lights out either.
But that's the crazy thing. No one needed to be.
Yeah.
Jamar Gibbs was just all over the place, So they'll be in good shape, hopefully. I'm glad they got the bye and everything like that. That's nice. And we all know Kansas City already had the bye. They didn't play anybody. I don't really know how you lose that badly to Denver, though, with your team. I mean, I know you have 2nd and 3rd stringers, but did they not even play any 2nd stringers? Did they just play like a bunch of 3rd stringers?
And
I know Carson Wentz sucks, but I'm just saying, like, still, you can't score a touchdown?
How much effort were you getting out of all those guys? I mean,
Yeah, I guess you're right? You don't want to get hurt either, just in case. You want to maybe have a chance to play in the playoffs and do something good for the team. I guess you're right.
that game was like, especially because it was, like we said, 21-0 before you could blink your eyes.
Yeah, it was quick. It was real quick. I don't even think it hit the 2nd quarter yet. It was 21-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so this Saturday we have 2 games, and like we were talking before we got on here, this might be the first year they have a Monday night playoff game, and that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings versus the Rams. But Saturday you have the Chargers versus Houston, and Pittsburgh at Baltimore. It's 4:30 and 8 o'clock, and they're going straight AFC on Saturday, and then. Sunday's only 2/3 NFC, and then you have the Denver Buffalo game at 1 o'clock, which is a weird game to put at 1 o'clock, right? Because you got them at 1, Green Bay Philly at 4:30, and then you got Washington Tampa at 8. So like, are they doing that almost like in reverse order, saying like, okay, we know everyone's gonna watch Denver Buffalo no matter what. So we'll put them on at 1 and steadily go in that direction and be like, we might not get a lot of people watching Washington, Tampa Bay, so we'll put them on at 8, so everyone will be watching them.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just my thought, right?
makes sense. But
Because I would have done it in reverse.
you know the NFL. Everybody's going to be watching all those games.
Hell yeah! This is a whole day's worth of football. You know, the only thing that sucks is I'm so used to watching a bunch of games. We're just gonna have one game on at 1, one game on at 4:30.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll really get to concentrate on that one game, though.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm gonna just try and drink heavily that day and just
I
let
don't
it
know
go.
how I feel about the Monday night game, man. That's,
Yeah, pretty lame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember them doing it last year. If they did, I forgot about
I
it.
don't think so. I don't think so.
I think they've done it. I think the past few years.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I think I'm not 100% sure,
I don't know.
but don't like it.
Yeah.
That.
Well, we
And
know.
then- And then are the games on Saturday on Prime?
Oh really?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't. No, I got CBS. Okay, so yeah, I got CBS for the Charger game, and I got Prime for the Pittsburgh Baltimore game. And then CBS, Fox, NBC, and ESPN got the Monday night game.
So is are the bars even going to have the Prime game?
I mean, they should. You know. Or let me put it this way: they better, right? It's 8:00. You know, on a Saturday, they better have that on.
Oh, it's the 8 o'clock game Saturday
Yeah.
that's on Prime?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, okay. I'll be home watching it anyway. It doesn't matter. I'll be honest with you. Now that I know it's Prime, I probably will just be sitting right here as well. Like, why bother? You know, if anything, I'll go out for the 4:30 game if I'm not going to my sister's. But so yeah, we were talking. I don't think you saw the text, but I don't remember what we did for the playoff picks last year. But we're just going straight money line this week.
Yeah, I think that's what we did last year.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's what Wander was saying.
Yeah, straight up.
So I mean, let's just dive right into it and let's give a little, I guess, synopsis of the game. I guess who's gonna win and why, and then
Yeah, and I think we could probably do these all together because we pretty much
Right.
have the same picks
Yeah.
across the board.
oh, you do too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, me and Wander only differ in I think one game, the Washington Tampa game. But yeah, before I guess we do, what did we finish up with the year?
So we finished the season like a bunch of duds.
Terribly.
All going 1-3. Oh God, unbelievable.
Well, that's to be
So,
expected.
Final standings for the season are Ernie at 39-27. No, I don't think that updated.
Nope, it definitely didn't because you were 39 and 27.
Right, so I am 40-30.
40 and 30, 10 games over. That's not
Finished
bad.
a big 10 games over. Ryan is 36-34.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, that's not terrible. 2 games
And
over.
Wanderer finished the season at 35-35.
Oh, you were even too. That's not bad. I'll take that. Maybe we'll brush it up next year. It'll be a little better. I mean, 10 over is pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is my second consecutive season winner. Right?
Oh, did you? You won last year too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, he's crushing us now. Well, he's got to take a win whenever he could get one, right? You know? I'll let him have this one. I've been winning a lot lately. All right, so let's do the first game. The Chargers at Houston. I have the Chargers. I just think they're better coached, and Houston hasn't been really playing the best brand of
So we all
football.
have the Chargers. I agree with you. I don't think the Texans have looked all that great lately. I don't know. Is Tank Dell is still out, right? He's out for the year, so they're dealing with some injuries. I don't feel like I've heard much about Joe Mixon lately either, right?
No, he's been a dud the last couple of weeks too.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I kind of feel
And,
like
and I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think they're gonna, if they win this week, are they gonna win another game? I don't think so. But if I had a pick at this point, the Chargers might be my pick for the AFC. I like the Chargers. I like
okay.
Herbert.
Her birthday?
Yeah.
Really? So you're picking the Chargers to go all the way?
No, I
Oh,
am not.
Okay. Whew! I thought I was dreaming. What do you think, Juan?
Yeah, I think Houston that was definitely playing better football earlier in the year. First part. I think the Chargers are a hot team, and I think that continues on. Was that Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah. So my
I mean, it's a nice,
feel good story.
yeah, you know,
Harbaugh's back.
versus Harbaugh in the AFC Championship game.
That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that means they would have to beat, like they would have to go through either Buffalo or Kansas City. That'd be
Right.
kind of nuts.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kansas City lose one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Bills too, but I'd like to see the Chargers.
Wasn't it you that bet on the Super Bowl already, Bills Lions, or?
No, I didn't.
But you were supposed to.
I did place a futures bet before the season started, and my futures bet is Ravens Eagles.
Oh wow, that's not bad either.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean,
Only to find out that our boy Paulie has the same future bet from before the season.
Oh wow.
Only difference is his bet's a little bit more than mine. So
what? Because he bet it sooner.
no, we got the same odds, plus 4,000, but Paulie's a little deeper pocketed than me, so he's able to place a larger wager than I
That's awesome. Yeah, I think the only way Houston wins is if CJ Stroud goes crazy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go
yeah.
crazy, they're going to lose that game. That's as simple as that. And
It's just like the Chargers have been playing decent ball
Yeah.
lately, it seems like. Right?
and they got a Bosa.
Right, on both sides they've been playing
Yeah.
decent.
Yep.
You know, their defense isn't anything to, you know, like you should worry about them.
But I think it'll be a good game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a close game. I don't know what the spread is. I thought maybe there was like 3.
Chargers are favored by 3.
Yeah, that's about right. Like I don't see them winning by much than that.
I think they're playing in LA, right?
No, they're playing in Houston.
Oh, so wow.
Houston has the division.
Oh yeah. Houston won their
So
division.
that's a significant amount then, right? Because
Yeah.
the home team is usually a 3-point favorite to begin with.
Right.
All right.
So they're favored. Basically, they would be favored by 6.
All right.
So, then you got the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. That's the night game on Saturday.
And again,
On
we're
Prime.
we're all with the Ravens on that.
Yeah, I mean, unless the only thing I can say with this one is, you know, the playoff Lamar comes back and he winds up choking, but I don't think it's going to be in this game.
And right, I mean, other than the last game matchup of the season that they had, the Steelers had the Ravens number, right?
Right.
So you never know. I just think that the Steelers have just been playing so bad these last 5 weeks that
I'll be honest with you, it's Russell Wilson being exposed. Like he had his little bit of run in the middle of the season where they were winning games off of defense and he was just making just enough good plays to win the game. But like you said earlier, the last 4 or 5 games, he hasn't been good. And unless you could rely on the run game, which Pittsburgh loves to do, but they also don't have great running backs either no more. Najee Harris is almost already done. And then you have Warren, who's okay, but he's more of a pass-catching back. You got to pass him the ball. If you don't, you're screwed. And Russell Wilson only has one guy to throw to, Pickens.
yeah.
So, you know, the Ravens can beat you
Even
4 or
he
5 different
just
ways.
looked like crap.
What happened?
Even he didn't look good on Sunday, man. He was dropping passes too.
Right, and he might still be hurt too because he just came back from I think it was a hamstring injury. So there's just too many question marks there. Like, in order for them to win, their defense has to be A++.
Yeah, and listen, you know, we know the deal. Vegas usually isn't wrong, and the Ravens are
Big favorite.
9.5 point favorite for
Yeah, that's
a playoff
crazy.
game. That's a pretty big spread.
That's crazy. So then we go to Sunday, and we already, you know, gave you the list, but you got Denver, Buffalo. Buffalo's obviously at home. What's their point spread?
8.5,
So they're equally as big as the Ravens. So,
and we're all going with Buffalo as well.
of course.
But I'll be honest with you. I think this game will be close. I just think Denver's playing well. If I had place a wager on this, I think I might take the points and go with Denver. Will Buffalo win? Probably, but will they cover? I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a snowstorm coming on Saturday. If it makes its way to Buffalo, I would agree with you. Unless, you know, Josh Allen decides to be Superman and did what he did a couple weeks ago in the snow. But that's a high spread for a playoff game. I would think it'd be closer. Denver has a good defense. Now, when are they flying? Like, you know, we always say those West Coast games to East Coast and vice versa are always tough. So they're the ones doing the traveling. So that might have an effect, maybe why the spread is so high. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Buffalo should win this convincingly, meaning like it could be close, but like they're going to be winning the whole game and then it's going to run out the clock.
You can just see where like Josh Allen seems like he's like locked in this year, and he's like, this is going to be my year.
Yeah. All right, so that's the 1 o'clock on Sunday. Now we got the 4:30 Green Bay Philly. What do you think, Wander?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Philly. I think Philly. You know, they got a high-powered offense. I know Hurts is in protocol. What is it, concussion protocol? But you know, I think he knows how much this game means to them.
Yeah, he'll be
they got
out.
Saquon Barkley, you know, in the backfield. So I think, they have a good chance to get it done.
Yeah, they're at home, so I can't see that game being an upset by any means. Green Bay hasn't looked great either, so you know, I like Green Bay. I like what they're trying to do, but they're just gonna fall short. It looks like. What's the spread on that game? Another big one or no?
No, it's 4.5. Eagles are favored by 4.5.
All right, so they're thinking it's gonna be somewhat of a game.
The only thing is, you know, it depends on how Love is. Is his hand all right?
Right.
He's going to get hit during the game one time, and it's going to mess it up again.
Right.
You never know.
I agree. That's why I just don't think. I don't think the Packers have enough. They got a couple wide receivers also hurt. I think Watson went down.
Watson's
right.
done, yeah.
So like,
Although Watson hasn't been
good,
I
really.
don't feel like he's been a major factor.
No, but you just need another guy on the field just to throw to. Love loves throwing the ball around, so you know if he's out too, that might make it a little harder for him. Their run game has to be spectacular to match up with Philly's run game, because if not, it's just going to be a blowout city. I would think like Barkley's going to go all over the place, and then you'd have Hurts doing the tush push in the end zone, and that game could go way past the 4.5 points. This next game is where we might disagree. I know me and Wanderer do. I don't know what you got, so take it away.
I'm with the Wanderer on this one.
Okay.
I'm with the Commanders.
Okay.
I think this will be a good game. I think this has the potential to be maybe the best game of the weekend, because I think it'll be close. I think it'll be back and forth. But I think I'm going to go with the Commanders.
All right. I don't want to call it the upset of the week because I guess Tampa's home. Are they favored at home?
Tampa is favored, yes.
Right, so it won't be the upset of the week, but it seems to me like this is a game
But
that'll be
again,
upset.
Tampa's favored by 3 at home. So basically,
It's a push.
Vegas is telling you it's a push.
Right. So to me, I feel like Tampa Bay has no business playing in the playoffs. So that's why I think it's like kind of like the upset of the week. Washington's been playing great all year, but I don't know. I see something about Baker Mayfield maybe lighten it up.
I'm not getting why you say you don't feel like they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Only because their division's so crappy and they sneak in. The way they just not snuck in. They won 10 games, which is fine, but we've watched a lot of their games. They're either really, really good or really, really bad. Right. So, like, would you rather have them in it or another, like, 11, 10-win team that actually played hard? You know what I mean? Like, to me, like the Rams. The Rams had all these injuries all year, and they make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just my thought with that game. Then we have, I guess, the Monday night game, right? You got the Vikings and the Rams are at home. So are we going to get the Vikings that choke and the Rams move on? Or are we going to get the Vikings that just handle their business like they've done most of the year, winning 14 out of 17 games, and move along to the next round.
Apparently, we're all thinking we're going to get the good Vikings because we all picked the Vikings.
Yeah, enough said. I mean, I would love. What do we got here? You're a golf club.
I forgot tonight's opening night for the TGL.
What the hell is the TGL?
The guys, the professional golfing league that they're playing on the indoor simulators.
Really?
Yeah.
Are these real golfers?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we can do it.
It's the top guys. It's a league that's Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy started.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can we play it?
No.
Oh, well, who cares?
I wish.
I know, right? Do you win any money?
I'm sure they do. These guys don't do anything for free.
Every week? Is it a weekly thing?
I think so.
Oh, it starts tonight at 9:00.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm not gonna watch it. Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it for the football. We got the Vikings. Not much to really say besides that. Sam Darnold's gonna win his first playoff game, and he's not a Jet. What else do I got to say about that stupid game? But I'll be excited to see what matchups we got next week. I'll tell you that. Somewhere in here is an upset because there's always an upset. I don't know what it's gonna be. Like I know what we picked for the most part. We all picked the same, and we picked a lot of the favorites. But this is.
I mean,
if you had to pick, where's the upset game coming from?
if I had to pick,
Yeah, you have to pick. And I'll change mine because I thought it was Washington and Tampa Bay. But if Tampa Bay's favorite, I'll pick another game.
I mean, it's hard to say like what's really an upset in some cases.
You're right. You're not wrong because this is like a little
But
weird playoff situation.
I will say this for the Monday night game. I think the Vikings have been the better team this year. But at the same time, the Rams are home. They have a lot of weapons.
And they play much differently at home, right?
They're playing better as of late. They're healthier. So I guess we'll see. But I don't know. Is Darnold a little shell shocked after that game? After that, Detroit loss. I guess we'll see.
So that's the one you're picking.
The other thing is too with Minnesota. They are classic choke artists.
Right,
Much.
right.
So that's got to be in the back of the mind somewhere.
100%, I agree with you. So that's your upset of the week, is you're going with the Rams. What about you,
I picked
Ernie?
the Vikings, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's all right. I picked the Vikings too, but I like it.
If I had to pick an upset, I would say it would be Pittsburgh against the Ravens.
Okay.
Only because they've had that good history against them, and
Yeah. They did blow them out earlier in the year too.
Even though, what are we saying? Pittsburgh hasn't won a playoff game since
Oh wow, yeah.
2015 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't made the playoffs in a couple of years, right? I know they didn't make it last year because they were 8-8. Maybe the year before they made it. But yeah, that's a good one too. Mine would be Green Bay, Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love, if
That's the upset I'd like to see most.
100%, and that's why I'm kind of picking it because I'd love to see them stick it to the Philadelphia Eagles at home and just move on.
And I'm sure every Giant fan is
100%. I don't think you're rooting for anything other than that. So yeah, that's my pick. I'm glad we got that stuff out of the way. I have some things to talk about what I've been watching recently. Just before I get into the new stuff that I saw, I finished Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Like exactly what I told you last week. Like the last two episodes didn't really change anything.
Yeah, it was a typical show that they knew they had to wrap up, so they tried to close out every story, and that's what it was.
And supposedly they're gonna have a spinoff with Rip and I forget the other girl's name.
I figured so much. I figured as much.
I don't know if that's gonna last.
No.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Because what could you I mean, she's feisty enough where you could get a good season or two maybe out of them, but anything past that, I don't see it happening unless they bring back some people. Like some people make some cameos and whatnot that you like to see. Like I love that old man Lloyd, man. That guy's gangster.
Sure.
He is so good. That guy will do anything for Rip. And the funny thing about it is, if I remember correctly, Lloyd was in Rip's situation when Rip was a kid. Like, Lloyd used to run that ranch.
Correct.
And then when he got too old, Rip kind of took over.
Right.
So, like, that's a really cool bond. And, like, he said his door's always open. So I'd like to see him come back. Because they all got their own little ranches now, you know? So we'll see where that goes. I find it funny. They had some videos on TikTok about the creator of the show.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he's done? Mm-hmm. He's amazing.
Yeah. Like, that's all his land.
Yeah, so like he knew, I don't know if he wrote the show, but he definitely like produced it and like created the show, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure he wrote it. Have you ever seen Yellowstone?
No, but I know what it's about.
He's one of the actors in it. He's like he trains like the horses or whatever. So he's not in every episode, but he comes and goes every once in a while. And apparently, like, this guy is so cutthroat. As he's starting the show, he bought all this land in Montana, and then rented it out or leased it out, whatever you want to call it, to Paramount or whoever like made the show. I think it was Paramount or whatever. It doesn't matter. And at this point, he's renting it for $50,000 a day for them to film on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's just part of his money. Supposedly, every year he makes $500 million from them alone. Just from the show, like whatever, everything all together. So like, and apparently he's a pain in the ass to work with. Mm-hmm. So that's why this show like kind of came to an end. Well, and that's why he transitioned to Landman.
I think that's where the fallout was, right? Wasn't it between him and Costner?
Oh, yes. And it was over some money. But then the guy that got trampled by that horse in the last season, he also got into it with him too over either Kevin Costner or money or both.
Oh, really?
So that's why they wrote him out of the show towards the end. And it was just a lot of bad blood on that show, which is why why would you make a spinoff?
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess some people just don't care and just whatever want to make the money, which is fine.
Right. It's a paycheck.
Yeah, I totally get it. But that's why he then transitioned to Landman, and he's making the same money off of Landman because they film it in Montana too, off that same land.
Yeah, same land.
So he's making a ton of money. Especially Landman, and you could, I guess, talk about this a little bit more. I haven't watched it yet. It's next on the docket, I think. Landman is supposed to be an even better show than Yellowstone, and they're projecting it to be a longer running show than Yellowstone, from what I heard. I did some reading. Light reading.
I could see that because it's there's many different. The story with Yellowstone was the story. It was just one story, and it was once that story came to a head, that's it. Whereas Landman is kind of different because the show could be about what they do, and then something happens with what they're doing, and then you can have the side stories with what's going on with the people. So it's I mean, I think it's good. So far, I think it's great.
How many episodes in is it? It should be almost done.
Not even sure, to be honest with you.
All right.
Maybe like 5 episodes or so.
All right, we'll cool you down.
But it's good.
I watched this like based on a true story movie. It's called 36668. It's on Netflix. It's about the only like the women's infantry in World War II, but it's the only black infantry of the women's division.
Right. I think my mom watched this.
You watched it?
No.
Bro, it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's a true story. Mm-hmm. And like it was kind of crazy. Like they were getting like screwed around and everything like that, and then they finally got a mission where they had to deliver all the mail to the guys across, in Europe. And I know you're smirking and everything like that, you chauvinist pig, but but like by the time like the story developed and everything, it's like a 2-hour movie, so it's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like Dune Part 2
right.
that it's like 4 days long and you have to rent an RV to like watch this movie because you can't sit somewhere for too long. Which I haven't finished Dune 2, by the way. Like I started, I was a half hour in, I'm like, okay, I gotta turn this. I was like, I can't. I was like, spices, this, that, I don't know what's going on. I gotta rewatch Dune 1 just to remember everything, and I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not sacrificing literally a whole day to watching Dune. But yeah, I thought the movie was good. Like, and I don't know why he's smirking, but and I don't really normally watch true stories, but
That's why I was smirking, because your choices in films of late have
which choices? Which
been
one?
quite questionable. But we
Wow.
can take that offline and
Wow.
discuss further.
Wow.
What about Craven? Did you ever watch Craven?
No, I don't have a bootleg thing to watch it on yet. Oh, matter of fact, I gotta get rid of my Amazon stick. I need a new one. But no, I haven't watched that yet. That's whenever it comes on Disney, which will probably come next week, or Sony, whatever, it'll come on HBO.
Oh, I
I'll
thought
watch
it
it.
was on there already.
No, it's not. It's not on there yet. I checked it a couple of days ago.
That was surprisingly, because like you said, it got horrible ratings, right? And I thought it was actually pretty good. And I said, I think Brian will enjoy this.
I might secretly, but it's gotten so many bad reviews. Like,
Which I don't know how. It for me, like that's not even my like genre.
right, cup of tea,
movies.
yeah,
Right.
And I enjoyed the heck out of it. I thought it was good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a man crush on that guy, Craven.
Not really, but
No?
I thought
Alright.
it was good.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I watched another couple movies, but I don't even feel like I should explain myself.
let's
So-
hear. No, I gotta hear this.
So I'll let it go.
No. I gotta
I actually don't even remember. I watched so many movies. Like, oh, got it. Sorry, it's been a long day.
That's all right.
In the cold. Transformers 1.
Yes.
Did you watch that?
No, but you said you
Is that
took
the
it out
animated?
last week that you said you were going.
What happened?
Is that the animated?
Yeah.
You brought it up last week that you said you heard it was very good and.
It was probably the best Transformers movie they've made. Maybe tied with the very first one and Bumblebee. They're all very
Bumblebee?
close.
You like Bumblebee?
Yeah, I like Bumblebee. See, you're a little older than me and Wander, so like when I grew up, Transformers was the shit. So when you watch these movies, like Bumblebee was cool because you saw Cybertron and you saw Optimus Prime, and they told you a little bit of the backstory, which is like what they kind of got away from in the original Transformers.
Yeah.
Like they brought up all the different bots, which was always really cool, and I like those movies for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like they don't really get into anything. It's just we got this Decepticons got to fight the Autobots again. It's a different. It's not the Matrix this time. It's the the phalange, and then now you're like, okay, how many different sources of power they have out there, guy, on one planet, no less. You know what I mean? But this movie, like, it got knocked because when you watch the trailer, it looks like it's a comedy. It's like an hour and 45-minute movie, and I'll tell you this right now, it goes. The first 20 minutes might be a little comedy, and then it gets real, and you're like, whoa! Like, you guys have to watch it. It was crazy, and it's all about them being like. And I thought I'd get thrown off because there's different actors than the original guys that do the voices. Like the guy was it Peter Cullum, I think his name is, that does the Optimus Prime voice. Like he's not in it. Chris Hemsworth does Optimus Prime's voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different people doing these voices because they're technically like kids or teenagers at first.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it because
Okay.
they're not kids or they're robots, but like they're like in their
teenage years.
yeah, if you want to say that, because they're still mad old, but their way they act is like that. But
Right.
it takes off, and I was literally watching it like on Friday or Saturday, and I just breezed right through it. It was amazing. Yeah, it was really good. I think that's it. I can't remember any other movies that I watched. No, that's about it. Anyone else got anything? Movies and stuff that they watched?
No. I just watched. It was. I guess it's a recent show. It's just one season, and it was like, I think 6 or 7 episodes. I just stumbled upon it. Something called Mick Mafia.
Was that on FX?
I don't know what it's on.
Oh my god! Oh, that's right. Fire Stick guy over here.
But
Just do research to see what shows and movies he's watching.
it's based in like London, and they go back and forth to Russia and Prague, and it's basically about like Russian mobs and stuff like that, and it was pretty good, pretty good. The actor's name, I guess he's done some other stuff. James Norton, it's an English guy. I don't know that I've ever seen him in anything else. He looks kind of familiar, but when I looked it up, because I wanted to see if he was related to Ed Norton, which he is.
Oh wow!
Apparently, I think.
Oh, so you went from he's related to
because they say he's
apparently
related,
to I
but
think.
I don't know if it's that same James Norton because there's a couple of different James Nortons, and the pictures weren't very clear to tell. But this guy has apparently been in a few movies and stuff, and it was pretty good, pretty good.
Okay. Wander, save us, please, because I don't know what else.
I watched, which you guys both recommended, Carry On, and yeah, like you guys said, like I was totally surprised by it. Like I expected zero. I mean, before you guys told me about it,
Right.
I just went past it, not thinking anything of it. But it was actually very enjoyable. I think like the pacing of it is great. Like,
Yeah.
it just keeps moving.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. And that kid's a good actor too, Taron Egerton.
He is. It got a very high rating when it first came out too.
Bateman's good and pretty much everything.
You
He's
can't go wrong with Bateman.
No.
Meanwhile, on Sunday, Paulie's telling me he watched it. He gave it a big thumbs down.
Really?
Oh.
Basically, when it comes to movies, if Paulie gives it a thumbs up, don't watch it. If Paulie gives it a thumbs down, watch it. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, it was that weird, what is it, Gravesend TV show that he said was good?
Oh my god!
And you watched that, right?
That was.
I'm so glad you watched it before me. I'd have been so mad wasting my life away at that show. Yeah, all right, so that's it. Well, I'm going to keep watching some crazy movies. You know what it is? It's so hard to find movies right now to watch. I almost just like look on all the different streaming things and just like see something and they give it a good rating and I'm like, all right, I'll check it out.
That's how I stumbled upon this McMafia thing the other day.
You know what you should stumble upon? I think it's called Extraction or something like that with the Anthony Mackie, who's the new Captain America. It's some weird...
No, that's
it's not called Distraction. It's something else.
It's Elevation.
Ah, there you go. I knew it was something with an E.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No.
Someone said it was good. You should check it out.
What? I keep meaning to ask you. What's the show that you keep telling us about that the boys in Jersey watched?
Oh, The Last Kingdom.
The Last Kingdom. I could have sworn I looked that up and I couldn't.
It's
find
on
it.
Netflix, so it may not be on your Fire Stick, depending. Just saying. I forgot there was one other movie before we get to your music. Mm-hmm. The one with Megan Fox as like a robot.
How was that?
That was awful.
You saw it?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't like it? Not even like some of the different scenes in the movie?
Well, I mean.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah, listen, if you want to waste an hour and 35 minutes of your time, it's not awful. Like, you know what it is? To me, it was a good concept. It needed to be slightly darker or faster.
Yeah, it was like
you know what I mean?
It was like a B-rated movie with deeper pockets behind it.
Got it.
Basically,
It's called Subservient, right? Subservience? Yeah, it's on Netflix. But yeah, if one day you got an hour and a half to kill, just throw it on.
All right.
It's not the worst thing in the world to watch. It's not as bad as he's making it out to be, but it's not something that you'll want to watch on a Friday, Saturday night as opposed to watching something else.
I see.
Like, it's perfect for tonight if you go home and you don't want to just throw the TV on and fall asleep. Perfect movie. But yeah, hit us.
All right, yeah, just one pick for this week. We got Aphex Twin with music from the merch desk, so that's the pick for this week.
Okay, so before we go, this is I think your third week in a row of one song.
Yeah, I haven't been finding as much music.
I'm putting you on notice right now. There better be more than one next week.
Okay.
Anyway, with that being said, everyone enjoy your week.
Enjoy the games.
Wild card weekend and Monday now. So enjoy your weekend / Monday watching football. I know we will be. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Enjoy, folks.
All right,
Till
take
next
care. Have a good week.
Yeah.